Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
I get stuck in those.
Jim Wells County Commissioners Court for today, October 10th, 2025. Now in session, it's 9 a.m. Agenda item number 3, public testimony. Is there anybody out in the public like to address the court at this time? Hearing none, we move forward. Discuss, consider, and take action to approve minutes from previous meeting. That's agenda item number 4.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 5. Presentation and discussion on sheriff's request to adopt the section 7K of the FLSA 29 USC 207K pay schedule policy for Jim Wells County SO detention officers. This section provides a partial overtime payment, a pay exemption for public agency employees employed in law enforcement activities. Sure.
I'm Joseph Guy Baker, Sheriff, Jim Wells County. I passed out some packets there. One of them is an example schedule, in case you wanted to look at that. The other, I'm going to read for the record to kind of explain what this schedule is and the benefits of that for the county and also for the employees that are detention officers. So I'm requesting that the court consider this 207K work schedule for Jim Wells County Sheriff offices, correctional officers and the jail staff. So this is under the Fair Labor Standards Act. The 207K exemption is specifically for law enforcement and correctional personnel whose schedules often exceed the traditional 40-hour work week due to their shift work, the mandatory training, court appearances, and of course our emergency response duties that we often have. Implementing this schedule will provide more structured, it'd be more flexible for us, and it is legally compliant with the framework for managing hours for our jail staff. And it ensures basically we have fair compensation, but also allowing us to have more efficient planning for operational planning at our jail. So a little background, it says that under the current standard, this 40-hour work week model, our jail staff, they frequently exceed their scheduled hours. Of course, there's many reasons for that. We have 12-hour rotational schedules. We have mandatory court appearances right now. I think yesterday we did no less, I think it was maybe 5 or 6 transports. It was a lot. So that, and then our emergency responses. You know, if you hit the end of the shift and we have an emergency at the jail, we can't just stop operations because it's time for somebody to get off shift. And then, of course, we have our training and other special assignments that we have at the jail. So these are unavoidable duties that we have to do, and this results in a lot of overtime and in a 40-hour work week. So what this does is the 207 exemption allows for us to, for agencies, law enforcement agencies specifically, and firefighters, to establish a work period from anywhere from 7 to 28 days, and how that overtime then is applied after how many hours. With this approach here, we can count for these irregular or extended shifts. We can align our work schedules depending upon the operational needs that we have at the jail. It reduces the administrative burden also of calculating the overtime weekly. We can do it on this, what we're going to propose here in a little bit is a 14-day schedule. And also it maintains compliance with our federal regulations and labor laws. A 14-day work period is what we're wanting to go to, and with this 12 hours shifts that we have at the jail. And so it allows us to balance this, our flexibility, and still manage our overtime. And that's really the two big things that we're looking at. So I have a list of benefits. One, and we've talked about it, is operational efficiency. It's a flexibility for this 12-hour work shifts. It's easier coverage planning, schedule planning during our peak demands and or emergency situations, like I said, at the end of the shifts or in the beginning of the shifts. And it also allows our employees to rotate to fill in staffing gaps that we may have. The second thing, which is really important to us, giving our budget, is cost control. This reduces the unnecessary, doesn't eliminate it, but it reduces the unnecessary overtime payments caused by uneven weekly schedules. And we can predict our schedules, and we can make them more efficient this way. And it also encourages efficient staffing to get the job done without compromising our duty for public safety. 3, compliance and legal assurance. So the 207K is recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor specifically for law enforcement agencies, firefighters. EMS is not allowed, but for law enforcement firefighters, this is an exemption. It also ensures that all overtime calculations, they meet the FLSA guidelines, so that we're compliant, and it provides a defensible framework for us in audits and for compliance reviews. The fourth thing is very important to us as well, the employee morale and retention. The employees like this schedule. Talk to our employees, they want this schedule because it does have a lot of advantages to them. And later on, I'm going to ask Captain Ramirez to answer some of your questions because he's very familiar with this schedule. But there's clear expectations, so they get their schedule. They know what they have to work before they receive overtime. And it reduces burnout because prior to this schedule, they may work 6-7 days in a row at the end of a month, not every week, but it's very hard to work 12-hour shifts on your feet, for 7 days straight. So in this scenario, they will not work more than 3 days at a time. So it reduces stress, it reduces physical stress on their body, and it also aligns the schedule. It's just best law enforcement practices. So they are very much in favor of this schedule, the employees. So what we're proposing, you can go up to a 28-day, but what we're proposing is a 14-day cycle for the qualifying jail staff. That means that they'll work 86 hours in a 14-day pay period before they're eligible for overtime. These will be 12-hour rotating shifts. So basically they'll work, like a 2 days, they'll have their days off, they'll work 2 days, have days off, then they may work a 3-day, and they'll have at least 1 or 2 days off. Well, they'll have more than that, but so that's what we're proposing. So they would know their shifts, they'd be predictable, to be able to plan family activities, to be able to take their time off. And it also allows for us to be able to have the proper coverage. And of course, we would also make sure we stay in compliance. We'll obviously monitor that, those hours to make sure that we're in compliance. There'll be quarterly reviews of schedules and our overtime to identify any adjustments and efficiency or fairness and to the schedule. Now, the fiscal impact, it extends the reduction of unnecessary overtime costs by aligning our work periods with our operations. It maintains total compensation levels, ensuring that the employees are fairly paid and compensated. And it reduces our overtime payments, the amount of overtime we have to pay. Helps not only the sheriff's office, but the county as well, to more effectively be able to budget our overtime. So just as a recap, is that adopting this 207K will bring the sheriff's office in line with what most Texas law enforcement agencies across the state of Texas are doing. It does ensure that we are federally in compliance with federal laws, and it allows us to efficiently manage our personnel and help bring up our employees' morale. And it reduces this unnecessary overtime costs with the issues of scheduling and emergencies and things happening. So I respectfully request that the Commissioners Court approve and adopt the 207 work period for all of our detention officers within the Sheriff's Office. And of course, the effective start of this next pay would be the next payroll cycle after the approval, if we get that approval. So thank you for your time and your consideration. There's also a sample schedule if you want to take a look at that. And I would like to turn it over to, are you ready to for the next line item for the questions? I would like to turn it over to Captain Ramirez, let him speak about it and answer any questions you may have.
Anybody have any questions for the sheriff?
I do, Sheriff. So you want to implement this? Have you talked to your staff about proposing this?
Yes, we
They're
have.
okay with it?
Yeah, so we've talked to the staff. They're very much in favor of that, and Captain Ramirez would be primarily, as I've spoken to some myself as well, but he also has spoken to the staff, and they are very much in favor of it. If you look at the schedule, it gives them a lot of, they're working 12-hour shifts, but
Yeah, it's not.
it gives them a lot of time off, and they get to have at least one weekend, which they like. The other schedule, sometimes you wouldn't get weekends off, for many months. This alleviates that, so that they can spend time with their families.
And how much are you looking to save using this format?
So we're looking at schedule, so they have to work up to 86 hours. So we're looking at saving per 6 hours of overtime pay per pay period per employee. So that can rack up pretty good. You're looking at 21 to maybe even some more, but at least no less than 21 staff at 6 hours of pay period. I didn't figure up the actual dollar amount, but it is quite a bit.
And another question, if, let's say you have these work schedules for these officers or jailers, and if you have to work them extra besides your schedule,
Yes.
so how do you pay them overtime for that extra work they?
So currently, right now, I have a policy in place where I'm not paying overtime. I'm giving comp time. We can do that to a certain degree, but at some time, the fiddler has to be paid, right? Because they're going to take that time off. We're going to have to cover that time off. But because of my budget until January, I'm giving them comp time. After January, we'll start paying the overtime again, and of course, we're gonna have to go back and let them have that time off. So, after they work their 86 hours, then they will get paid. We're gonna schedule about 84. If you look at the schedule, what's actually put on the schedule is 84 hours. If we need them to stay over because of these emergencies, we still have that 2-hour flexibility, right? Because you get 86 hours. After the 86th hour, then they will get paid overtime, and there still will be some overtime needs involved. Unless the only way to get around overtime would be to double our staff and have like an 8-hour type of regular work schedule, which would cost us more money than it would be to pay the overtime. We just don't have, we don't have that in the budget to schedule, to hire that many detention officers.
Okay. That's all the questions I have.
Sure. This is for jailers only?
This is for jailers only, and I'll tell you why. So we have the Stone Garden grants, and we have the Operation Lone Star grant. I'm also applying for it's nearly a $1.3 million a grant for transports and other things, which I don't know if we'll get it. I don't know when it's going to come in. I do need to talk with you about that today. Sometime we'll try to see if we can get that certified, but that should be done today. But with those grants that we get that go to the deputies to work the interdiction on the highways, we have to be on a 40-hour work week. So that doesn't apply to the detention staff, but it does apply to the deputies. And the reason for that is if you're working a two-week pay period, because all of the sheriff's office used to be on this schedule like many years ago. We had to change, or the court had to change that at some point for the requirements of these grants that we're getting. Because each week, let's say they work their schedule is a 4-hour, and sometimes they do work 7 hours, 7 days straight. But during the week, if they need to work any of these grants, they only pay out in overtime. So they have to stay on a 40-hour work week schedule. In fact, we even have to certify when we apply for these grants, we have to certify that they are on a 40-hour work schedule. So we can't and a lot of the deputies would like to go to this schedule. There's no doubt. I've had a couple of deputies talk to me about it, but they don't want to go to it if they're going to lose the opportunity to work these grants that we get. But there's no way scheduling wise, to put them on the same schedule and still take advantage of the grants that we get coming in, which is a lot of money for our county. So we can't put the entire sheriff's office on this schedule, only the detention staff.
Sheriff, how many openings do you have in the jail right now?
So in the jail, we have, so the openings versus how many people we have at the jail are two different, because we're in the process of hiring. So we have people that have been hired. They are going through the process of getting their state exam completed, passing that. They have to pass their physicals. They're in various stages of that. But after this week, we should have 2 positions that are still open. However, not everybody is working at the jail yet. So I have approximately 4 to 5, depending on how the transports are going. Deputies are helping with the transports. In fact, they're doing most of them. So I have 4 or 5 deputies working at the jail. I need to get them out of the jail. I anticipate about a month, and we'll have everybody back out on the road, and the jail almost fully staffed.
So how many openings do you have?
2,
You have 2 openings at the jail right now?
yes. But the others that are not working at the jail are still in the process of the hiring phases. So, for example, I have one person that is taking a required defensive tactics course. They then have to come back and take their state exam. Once for the next 2 days, she'll be taking that defensive tactics course. When she comes back, when she pass, she'll have a week. To study. She'll pass. She studies on our time. She's an employee, so there's no open position, but she's not working at the jail. You understand what I'm saying?
So I find it troubling here. So here a while back, you asked us for more money to pay the deputies more money and everybody else. And now we're taking away the overtime from these people, the opportunity to be able to make overtime. I don't understand.
I think you're misunderstanding. We're not taking away the opportunity to
Yeah, but
pay
we're
them
increasing
overtime.
the limit, the minimum from, what is it, 80 hours or whatever it is to 86 hours now. So they're gonna miss out on those 86 hours. So I don't understand how we would take that away from it, how that would make it attractive for somebody to come and want to work with us.
Well, the same way as I've run out of overtime for the last 3 months, and now I'm paying comp time. So you give me a budget, and I have to work within that budget. And for me to do that, this is one thing that will help me to stay within that budget. As we talked about in the budget process, I'm given a budget, and I'm trying to stay within that, in that budget. I'm not taking anything away. I'm trying to increase the morale of the employees. The employees want this schedule, and the overtime they're still going to get paid overtime. They understand that.
I just can't see how somebody would want to go work more hours to be able to get overtime instead of getting, why would I want to say, once I get over 80 hours, I got overtime? Oh, let's increase it to 86. Yeah, I'm excited to go work over there. I want to go to 86 hours now before I make overtime. How does that make it,
Because it
how does that pick up the
allows.
morale? How does that
if
get
you- if you
anybody
look
want
at
to
the-
comply with us?
If you look at the schedule, Commissioner, it allows for us to be able to schedule them 12 hours and a day, and and also have more days off because they've reached their hours, right? So if you look at some of these, you have a long week and you have a short week. If you look at the short week, they're going to be scheduled for basically 2 days that they work. And so they also get a week. This allows us also to schedule them for, they each get a weekend. Now, Captain Ramirez can probably maybe help you out with how the advantages of this schedule and how they like it, but
Just to be clear, maybe I'm looking at it wrong, I'm not sure, but you have 5 days a week, they're working 12 hours. So that's 60 hours a week.
in the long week, and then the next week, they're gonna work 24 hours.
Okay.
So they get that time off there. Because instead of, right now, we have to go off a 1 week, 40-hour schedule. I'm wanting to do a 14-day schedule. That way, they have the long week, and then those hours, we don't have to pay overtime because we have the short week on the second week, in which that long week that short week, they still get a full paycheck. I mean, that way, we're doing it on a 14-day schedule instead of a 7-day
Just
schedule.
catching on to the short week, because
Yes, sir.
if you have 2 long weeks, well, that's
No, you have,
50 hours each, that's 120 hours, and it wasn't making sense to me, but now it's making sense.
right, you have a long week and then you have a short week. And it allows us to compute those hours in that
Kinda-
2-week pay period.
I'm kind of thinking the same way as Mr. Gonzalez, because I'm not, they have to work a little more to get overtime pay. How was that attractive? So I'm anticipating the answer to that question.
Okay. The reason that it is attractive, as I mentioned, and then I'll let Captain Ramirez come up here and talk,
Sure.
is because this allows us to schedule them that short week. It gives them every other weekend off, and still be able to fill those hours that we have to have somebody at the jail. They understand that they have to do that extra few hours on that last day of their shift or whatever to facilitate those extra days off.
So in a perfect world, if they're working this, their pie in the sky is the short week.
Yes, the short week and the weekends, that they get, yes.
So Sheriff, at the moment, you're not able to implement this schedule with what you have right now?
Oh, yeah, I'm implementing it, but the problem is, it's not under a 207. It's under a 40-hour work week. So
I mean,
what I'm having to do is I haven't implemented this schedule, but we're doing something similar because we have to have the coverage. And what it's costing us right now is comp time instead of overtime because I don't have the money. I don't have any overtime left. So in the back end of that, which it's only been, a short time, but we're going to have to give them that time off. So they're getting compensated, but it costs the county more to do this schedule. If you don't approve this schedule, well, then we'll have to go back to working 6, 7, 8, 7 days straight at sometimes, and at the end of the month, at least 4 or 5 days straight, which is very fatiguing, very hard on the officers. We'll have to go back to that. And that's also the advantage to this, is they don't work any more than 3 days at a time before they get some days off to rest, and recuperate.
So how many days do they work in a long week?
Sheriff, if you're okay with it and the jailers are okay with it,
Yes.
I don't see how can, we cannot get in your way. If you think it's beneficial to you, I'm all for it, so, we can ask questions, there's gonna be vacation times where people take vacation and you're gonna have to reschedule. There's a lot of things that come along with what you're trying to do. But as long as you understand it and you're good with it, and your jailers are good with it, I see no problem.
The jail staff is very excited to work this schedule. The schedule's worked all over the state of Texas.
I can see challenges, like the challenges that we're talking about here. But those are your challenges. You understand what I'm saying? We can only, if you want our blessing, we can only help you in that way, but in my opinion, right?
I appreciate that, and that's, again, I understand the questions, and let me ask Captain Ramirez to come up here, because he's worked this schedule for years. Not only has he worked the schedule himself, he's also scheduled and managed this schedule. And you hear from somebody that has spent years working the schedule, okay?
Good morning. I am Captain Marcus Ramirez. I'm the jail administrator for Jim Wells County Jail. I want to clarify what the sheriff had mentioned about the openings. The 2 that he was referencing is actual openings that are not filled. But that doesn't include the deputy positions that are currently in the jail. So in actuality, we have a total of 7 openings. When staff is hired, they're going to have to replace the deputies that are currently covering those positions so that they can get back to their primary duties. So in actuality, I have seven openings. We talked about how are we going to entice people to come and work for this jail with this type of schedule in regards to overtime. So one thing I want to point out is currently they're on a 80-hour pay period, which means that a traditional 40-hour work week must be accomplished prior to them earning overtime for that week. Each week is independent of each other. This type of schedule changes that. First and foremost, the old traditional way is they get paid for 80 hours. In this scenario, they're getting paid for 84 hours. So their paychecks are going to go up by virtue of the schedule. So they're going to get 84 hours of straight time per pay period. Their overtime does not go into effect until the 86-hour mark, which in our world in law enforcement, that's easily achieved and attained because the fact that we're essential personnel, meaning that when the world stops, we do not. We have to be there. We're regulated by the state. in regards to staffing numbers. So attaining those overtime opportunities will be very common. So to entice them, their checks will go up just by virtue of the schedule. The schedule works because we have 21 budgeted positions for the jail. That's not a lot of people to run a facility. Facilities, no matter the size of it, have the same requirements. So if we were saturated with staff, we'd still have those things we'd have to cover. But we're not saturated with staff. Again, 21 positions. In order to manage that and to ensure that we are not below jail standards with our 1:48 ratio that's required, this scenario gives us the best benefit, meaning for coverage. In order to manage staff, this allows us to, with the limited number of people, allows us to schedule them to ensure that they are on staff, that they're here. If we were to stay with a traditional 8-hour work week that everybody's familiar with, it would have to be, that's staff intensive, which we do not have. I just cannot do that. My minimum staffing levels is 3 per shift. I have to have at least 3 people on staff to run a jail. That's an 88-bed facility, and you have 3 people having to work that, one of which is a hard post, which means that they cannot come and do anything, which leaves me 2 people to manage that many people in jail. It's very difficult to do. So in order for me to do that, I have to have a schedule like this in place so that I can manage staff in order to be there. Now, the benefit of this schedule, particular schedule, because this type of schedule with the 84-hour work week or pay period, the schedule could be laid out in multiple ways. This one is considered what they call a Pittman schedule, a 2-2-3 schedule. In a 2-week period, there's a long week and a short week. Their long week, they're going to work 2 days. They're going to be off for 2 days. So they only work 2 days and then they're off for 2 days. They come back and they work 3 days, which equals 60 hours for that week. But they're not working 60 hours straight. It's cut up into sections throughout the week. The following week is their short week. They're off for 2 days. They only work 2 days, and then they're off for 3 days. And that's the rotating. That's how it works every pay period. Each platoon, as I have them divided, stay with each other. So when they're off, they're all off. And when they're on off. And what that helps with us is that the same team is working together, understanding the same continuity, the same issues and things of that nature. So that's the other benefit of this style. Any other style, I may work with certain people only a couple of days a week versus this way. This platoon is a team. They're on together and they're off together. And that's one of the things I really like about the schedule. I worked this schedule. I managed 71 people in a platoon whenever I was captain at another facility, and we were on this Pittman style schedule. And we were staff intense. That's 71 people versus 21 budgeted positions here is a big difference. And that's entirely. So, but that's it in a nutshell. If you have any other detailed questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them for you.
So I guess what makes it attractive to the jailers is maybe the consecutive days off, like in the second short week. Is that what they're kind of?
Yes, sir. So I've spoken to staff, and the example that I've showed you is a schedule they would be working. They've all seen it. When I came in, some of the things that were an issue to staff was I don't get weekends off. My schedule doesn't allow me to get weekends off. I know a lot of us, everybody in this room kind of enjoys those weekends to be able to be with family and whatnot, instead of being up here at work. This is a fair schedule. This schedule allows everybody in the jail to have days off around the weekend time, right? Now, in a perfect world, this schedule would be implemented from Monday to Sunday, but the county works from Sunday to Saturday. So if a Monday to Sunday scenario would give them every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, which we don't do that here, and ours is different. But understandably, they do get the end of the week off, which does include a weekend. But that's the one issue they were having is that, hey, I don't ever get weekends off. Some do and some don't. So I try to be fair with staff. I've got to make it enticing for people to stay. I can get them here, but how do I keep them here? This is one way to keep staff here. they don't work more than 3 days at a time. In the other traditional style, they're having to work 5 days straight before they get a couple of days off. And then because of our requirements, sometimes they have to come in and do that extra time, which they do that today. I mean, this is not going to eliminate those needs because, again, we're essential personnel and we have to run the jail. There's no doubt about it. We cannot shut her down. So there are going to be opportunities for them to come in and work, help with transports on their days off, and things of that nature. But again, they're only working snippets of the week. The other thing too is in a 40-hour traditional work schedule, in a month's time, those that are in that type of schedule work 20 days a month. This one, they only work 14 days a month. So they're off as many times as they're on. In their 2-week pay period, they're only working 7 days total, which is, if you do a traditional schedule, we're working 10 days in that period. So 20 days a month versus 14 days a month. There's your enticement there as well. We don't work as many and get paid more.
The deputies that are working there now and covering those positions, are they gonna follow the same schedule?
So they're on this, they have to follow the same schedule, but because of the grant requirements, we're going to have to, when they fill out their timesheets, it's still going to have to be part of that 40-hour work schedule. So there's going to be some compensation with compensatory time for them. But this is that's just a stopgap until I get people in place to allow them to go back to their traditional duties. So, and we have people currently in the process of being hired. They're getting the tail end of that process, so they should be getting on board fairly quickly, so I could get those deputies back on the road.
So let me ask you another question. For transporting inmates, whether it be to another county or to a mental or health facility, that doesn't count for this schedule, or who transport those?
Yeah, so the transports typically rely on to the jail staff. We can utilize deputies to do those transports. If those transports are conducted by the deputies, it's essentially another function of their day. It falls under that schedule. When any work that the jail does will fall under this schedule. So if jailers, detention officers are having to do those transports like traditionally we would do, we just don't have staff right now to do it, it would fall under this schedule.
I feel the same as Commissioner Garcia. Me, if I was a jailer, I would love it. A long week, short week. And if that's what, they want to do and stuff, I think that'd be great. And not only that, but it helps with your budget, the overtime. And like you said, the morale of everybody. And I don't know, it's just more time off. And, time is money. We all have one life to live. And I think that more time you can get off and enjoy with your family. And at least with this, you get some weekends. And,
That was the big benefit whenever I was at the other agency. We were on a traditional 8-hour workday, and you get 2 days off for the week, just traditionally, but it just depended on which 2 days you were given off. So you had to cover every one of those days during the week. When we transferred over to this 12-hour schedule, this Pittman style schedule, it changed everything because now everybody had that opportunity every other weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off, no matter how long you've been employed there. It was just a grand benefit. Plus, when you're in that stressful environment, after 3 days of being in that environment, it's time to be off. I don't want to work there day in and day out for 5 days straight just to get a couple of days off and then come back and do it again. It's this way here, it gives them an opportunity for stress management, to get away from that environment after a couple of days. So that's the other benefit.
Any other questions?
I think there's more positive benefits than negative.
I believe so.
Thank you.
Okay.
Next agenda item Agenda item number 6, discuss, consider, and take action to approve and adopt a resolution authorizing Jim Wells County Sheriff Guy Baker to implement the Section 7K of the FLSA 29 USC 207K pay schedule policy for the Jim Wells County SO detention officers. So, in order for them to be able to accomplish this, we basically have to give them the blessing through a resolution. So after hearing the presentation and our discussion, can I entertain a motion?
Make a motion to approve and adopt a resolution authorizing Jim Wells County Sheriff Guy Baker to implement the Section 7K of the FLSA 29 USC 207K pay schedule policy for Jim Wells County SO detention officers.
I have a motion, I have a second.
I'll second the motion.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and go ahead and give me an aye on that one too. Congratulations. Agenda item number 7, consent agenda. Items will be voted upon in one vote and will not be discussed separately unless requested by the county judge, commissioner, or a citizen.
Judge, Commissioners, I only have one correction on number 6 for disposing of trash. It ends in 35, not 36. Besides that little correction, I have reviewed all the budget amendments and they are allowable with y'all's approval.
It's 35 instead of 36.
Yes.
Can I entertain a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve with that correction on number 6, which the disposing of trash 22-622-486 is 0.35, not 36. I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 8, discuss, consider, and take action to declare the month of, I think the month is October, not September. October, as Down Syndrome Month. And we want to read the declaration. We, the undersigned, hereby affirm our unwavering commitment to recognizing, respecting, and upholding the rights, dignity, and potential of individuals with Down syndrome. Down syndrome is a genetic condition that may affect intellectual or physical development, but it does not define the worth, the capability, and the potential of any person. Individuals with Down syndrome are valuable members of our society with unique talents, personalities, and perspectives that enrich our communities. In accordance with this belief, we declare that every person with Down syndrome has the right to be included in all aspects of social, educational, professional, and community life without discrimination or prejudice. We support equal access to education, healthcare, employment, opportunities and personal and professional development for individuals with Down syndrome. We commit to fostering environments that are inclusive, accessible, and respectful, where individuals with Down syndrome are empowered to thrive and to contribute meaningfully. We oppose all forms of stigma, discrimination, and exclusion based on disability or genetic differences. We will actively promote awareness, understanding, and acceptance through education, outreach, and advocacy efforts in our community. This declaration stands as a symbol of our solidarity with individuals with Down syndrome and their families, and our pledge to contribute to a more inclusive, compassionate, and equitable world. Declared on this day, October 10th, 2025. I think it's very important that we do this. I personally have my beautiful granddaughter, who is very special. Baby Yuri is very special to us, very unique in her talents. And I know that there are several others out here in the Jim Wells County community and the communities surrounding us. These individuals are beautiful, they're unique in their own special way, and they're very loving individuals that deserve all the love and the respect and dignity that we can provide for them. That being said, I make a motion, we approve.
A second.
I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, guys. Agenda item number 9, discuss, consider, and take action on approving the renewal rates for 2026 Jim Wells County Group Health Plan. And I think we have a representative.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm Lacey Jones. I'm your employee benefits consultant with the TAC Health and Employee Benefits Pool. And I'm here with great news for you guys this morning. So I guess first question that I do want to ask, did everybody get a copy of the renewal with the agenda packet this week?
No, I don't think.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'm going to give you guys my copy that I have right here.
I think we could take a little, a 2-3 minute recess. We want to make a copies for everybody.
She's got some?
Well, she just has one.
This is just
okay.
one.
Yeah,
It's
so-
kind of a large packet.
Okay, so let's go, it's 9:48. Let's come back in 5 minutes. Jim Wells County Commissioners Court for today, October 10th, 2025, is going to take a short recess. It's 9:48 right now. We'll come back in 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
We ready, Robert? Ready? Okay, Jim Wells County Commissioners Court recessed at 9:48 a.m. We're back to session in 9:55 a.m. Okay.
All right, good morning again. I'm Lacey Jones, your employee benefits consultant with the Texas Association of Counties Health and Employee Benefits Pool. Here today to speak to you guys about the renewal for plan year 2026 for Jim Wells County. So first of all, I want to just go over a little excerpt of exactly how we come up with the pool renewals and how Jim Wells County has received the renewal that they had, and then we can go over the renewal itself. So for over a decade, the pool renewal has been below the state average for health plan rate increases. We continue to see an uptick in high-cost claimants or individuals whose claims exceed $50,000 and high-cost specialty medications, which have made a significant impact on the pool. Still, the pool renewal average of 6% is once again well below the projected 2026 medical and prescription drug trend or healthcare cost inflation for Texas, which is between 7 and 13%. The pool needed amount is 6%, which means our groups will either receive below or above 6% of a medical rate change. We evaluate each county or district based on a combination of factors. One factor is the group size. So for Jim Wells County, there are an average of 206 employees and a total of 260 total members. So that's employees, including dependents. We also take into consideration the claims experience, your 12-month loss ratio, which is the medical and prescription claims that were paid out for that 12-month period versus contributions or premiums that were paid in. And the 12-month loss ratio was 92%. And the 36-month loss ratio, which is again the claims versus the contributions, was 99%. Another factor is the age and gender statistics. So the average age is 49.5 years and 6.8% older than the average age of the pool's population. We also take into consideration gender. So there are 51.7% males and 48.3% females. Another factor is a demographic factor, which is the cost of care in your area. So the cost of care in Jim Wells County is actually 10.1% less compared to the average cost of care in Texas. So that's fantastic. And another factor is the high cost claimants. So for the past 12 months, there have been 5 claimants. So that's 5 individuals who had a total of over $100,000 in claims for each individual. And then there was 1 claimant that had over $50,000 in claims for that 12-month period. So Jim Wells County is looking at a medical plan renewal rate increase of 4.2%, which is below the pool needed amount or pool average of 6%. So I did say that it was good news.
That was 4.2?
4.2% is a medical rate increase. And so that would be for the plan year beginning January 1st of 2026. Then we also have the dental plan. So the pool needed amount for the dental plan for the upcoming year was actually 9.9% due to an increase in utilization and plan enhancements. This means that our groups will either receive above or below the 9.9% of a dental rate. So Jim Wells County's loss ratio, which again is a claims versus contribution for dental for the last 12 months, was approximately 113%. So for every dollar that was received in premiums, about $1.13 was paid out for those dental claims. So the renewal rate for the dental plan for Jim Wells County is 12%. I know that sounds like a lot, but for the employee-only rate, it looks like it's only an increase of about $2.40 per month. But I promise I do have really good news. So vision and life products do not have an increase, so those rates will remain the same for the upcoming year. And I just want to ask the court if there are any questions about the rates or the renewal rates for the upcoming year before I go over just a few updates that are also included.
Are you gonna go over the options too?
The alternate options? Yes, of course. I'm so glad that you reminded me about that because they are stuffed pretty deep in this packet here. So yes, the renewal does also include some alternate plan options. So of course, it does show the current plan year and the rates for each tier, as well as the renewal rates for the current plan, the very same plan.
Yeah, the medical, nothing changes as far as co-pays, deductibles, or anything like that, right?
Well, you'll see that are you talking about for the renewal?
Yeah,
Yes, if you renew the same plan, everything stays the same. Yes, so if you just renew that plan, 1,200 NGS, everything will stay the same. Deductible, out-of-pocket, co-pays, it's the same for employees as it is this year. But we do like to give you some alternate plan options, just because we know every county is working on a budget, and sometimes it's just what you got to meet. So we do give 3 different alternate plan options that are the most similar standard plans to your current plan. If you would like for me to go over those options with you.
yes, please, that way we can, the Commissioner's Court will be abreast of the changes that, for the alternate plan, what actually changes.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And there is, yeah, I'll show you guys that right now because it's listed right here on this piece of paper. So the alternate plan option 1 is a plan 1,300 NGS. So with this plan, you would just see a very slight increase. The deductible for an individual would go up from $1,000 to $1,500. And the for an in-network, then out-of-network, it would go up by about $1,500 from $3,000 to $4,500.
Does that reduce the amount of the premium when you go, raise your deductible?
It does, because that's increasing the cost share to the employee.
Do we have that information on these packages?
The alternate plan option?
It's this, yeah, it's the sheet, it's kind of in the middle of the packet.
Yeah, yes.
Let me see.
On the Health County Wellness Sponsors,
Yes.
you have a former commissioner there.
Yes, and actually Cindy and I were just discussing that beforehand to get that updated whenever we submit the renewal. Okay, so everybody's there on the alternate plan proposal? Okay, so I know that we were on the option 1, the plan 1,300 NGS. We just discussed that the deductible amount for in-network for an individual would go from $1,000 to $1,500. And the coinsurance maximum would go from the $3,000 to the $3,500. And office visit copays would remain the same, as well as your prescription copays. So that would be the difference between your current plan and this alternate plan option 1,300 NGS. There's also an option 2 for plan option 1400 NGS, which would actually decrease your premium rate slightly, but it does increase your individual and network deductible from $1,000 to $2,000. So it's doubling the deductible amount. It's also increasing the office copay visit from $30 to $35, a specialist copay visit from $40 to $45. It would not change the emergency room copayment amount or the prescription copays.
Even though the rates might go down a bit, the increases are
It's on the employees' end.
substantial.
Yes. Yes, it does. And we do also have an option 3 for a plan 1500 NGS with the same prescription plan as the rest of them. This one again would decrease the premiums to the county, but it would increase the deductible pretty substantially for an individual in network from $1,000 to $2,500. The coinsurance would remain the same at 80 and 60, and the coinsurance maximum would go from 3,000 and 6,000 to 4,350 and 8,000. Office copays would also increase from $30 to $40. A specialist copay would increase from $40 to $50. The emergency room copayment amount of $150 would remain the same, and the prescription copays would also remain the same.
So the option 1, the only difference is $500 extra for the deductible.
For the deductible.
Okay. My guys, I think I have one guy that's probably used the medical since I've been here. And I just don't see it going up $100. And my guys can't be the only ones that don't use it. I would think there's probably a lot of them that don't use it. And so if we went with option 1, then it's only going up about $4 a month. And then the only one that would be out would be the ones who are using it for $500 if they, if they use it. I like option 1 for the county,
Right.
option 1 for the county.
Well, and I will say, as far as individuals using the coverage, so I know we had gone over those high-cost claimants where there's 5 individuals that have over $100,000 in claims and one that has over $50,000. We also look at individuals who have over $10,000 in claims, and there were 56 of those high-cost claimants, and there's actually a report attached. So that's quite a bit of individuals using quite a bit of coverage, just because it's only capturing those that have an excess of $10,000 in medical and prescription claims. So I did just want to point that out.
Which is a good point, Lacey. So would you, out of the 206 on average that we have insured, what's the average that are hitting that deductible amount? Do you happen to have it?
I don't have that information on me, but I can get it for you, because that is a very,
Kind of leads to it.
right, yeah, it's a very, very good point, just to see who all is actually meeting that deductible. Like I was saying, I know that those that are using over $10,000 in coverage are definitely meeting that the deductible, but the exact number that is, we can run a report for you, and I can get you guys that information.
By when do we need this approved? Do we have any time?
Well, technically, the deadline for renewals to be submitted back to TAC was actually supposed to be October 7th, so this week. But understandably, everybody gets a little busy and sometimes things fall through the cracks. But if you guys are considering another plan option, we can see, what we can do about getting this information to you as quickly as possible, so that way we can get that information so you guys can make a decision.
Yeah, because our next commissioners court will be till the 24th.
My deal is, each employee, if we stay with, if we went to option one, they're getting $893.40 a month from the county. So if you used the insurance and you had to pay $500 a year, that deductible, that's nothing compared of what you're getting monthly, almost $900 a month. And this, and if we go with option one, then we're not adding any more expense to the county. Anyway,
That is true, and it, like you're saying, it is a very slight increase, and it's also not affecting the co-payment amount. So odds are most employees won't really notice. Of course, we want to tell them, but it probably won't negatively impact most employees.
Only the ones that need to use it, because they'll have to pay 1,500 instead of 1,000, yeah.
Right. That's correct.
Anybody else have any questions or comments?
Well, whether you go with option one or the renewal rates are, I mean, it's only about $31 difference per month. I understand that, but, I mean, it is an increase. Option one looks good, just this slightly higher deductible. Just depends on, I guess each individual's health condition, you know, I mean.
I just wanted to remind, so whenever we do adopt the budget, of course, we don't have the renewal rates at that point, but I always do reach out to TAC to see if they can give me just more or less what the increase may be or decrease. So normally they'll run their reports and they'll give me their best estimate. So whenever we did go through budget workshops, I did take that increased amount that they had given me, and that is implemented to the budget already. So the money is there because it was estimated to be there.
Right.
Of course, it's still y'all's decision on which plan y'all choose.
No, I'm assuming that the following year is probably another little increase, you know. I don't think this benefits are coming down any from now on. It's just on their way up.
Unfortunately, it doesn't look like cost for medical care or prescriptions is going down. We'd love to be able to come in and give everybody flat renewals or say that they're going to get a decrease because costs are going down. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. So we are trying to cost contain as much as possible. And that's, again, why we do include these alternate plan options, because they are the most similar to your current plan. That would cause the least amount of disruption if you did decide to make a change.
Well, option one, the renewal rates are $372 more per year per individual. And if you go with option one, that you save that amount, so you pretty much pay for the deductible right there, whatever you save. It's up to the court. Yeah. The other positive side is $500 more on the deductible side. It's not a large increase. It's something doable.
Anybody have any more questions? If I don't have any questions, can I entertain a motion?
Let's see this and that. This.
I make a motion that we go with option one on the renewal for the 2026 Jim Wells County Group Health Plan.
What's the difference in deductible on option one and the current?
So Yeah, it's, the deductible and network for an individual would go from $1,000 currently to $1,500. So it would be $500 for an individual.
I think like, I think the option one would probably be, we're trying to save money,
Right.
That's, and the benefit to the employee is huge, it's, medical, so if the risk is $500, I just don't see where we could not go with option one.
Right.
It's, but I'll second her motion. Commissioner.
I have a motion and I have a second. Is there further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'll be an eye on that one too, Ms. Donna.
Good. I think that's a good decision.
I'll have to sign this document, but I wrote all over it. So.
I'll get a fresh one.
And I did just want to go over really quickly. It's not, I don't believe it's anything that the court would need to vote on. It's just other documents that are also included in the renewal packet that isn't like it is every year. There is a HIPAA certification form. So that's just ensuring that all personal health information that is relayed from TAC to the county is used and managed properly. So that form is in there for your authorization as well as an updated interlocal agreement. Yes, just because we had switched COBRA administrators from Blue Cross and Blue Shield to Willis Towers Watson Benefit Connect. So we had updated the interlocal agreement, and so that document's also included. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 10, discuss, consider, and take action to modify compensation and term of lease agreement with Victor Signs and Anama Signs for leasing premises for the purpose of operating an outdoor warning siren system. So we have a lease with Mr. and Mrs. Signs on a property where they have erected basically
The siren.
a siren, yeah, a pole for the siren. And we had approved the lease back in July and not realizing that the owner of the land wanted to increase the lease agreement, which I think we're paying him $1,200 and he wants to go up to $2,400. Yes. So, that being said, we do need that.
That's the one for the tornadoes in it, Judge?
Yes. Yes. So,
Anybody else can do it cheaper?
well,
Right.
But the thing is, it's established there.
We need it
To
now.
move it is, costs us a lot more.
so,
Judge,
How long is the lease for?
it's for you.
The one for July?
I think it goes 3 years, Cindy? Or 2 years?
It was,
Oh, Michael is
I think it only goes like 2 years or 3 years.
it's a 3-year term. The term of the lease is 3 years. We approved this back on the 14th of July. It goes through July 13th, 2028. Now, if we think we can
It's 86,000
do something with with any land that we own, I think we need to approve this with an increase until we establish our own, erect our own pole, and we've had this for a long
What
time,
was the starting date
July 14th.
of this year? So we approved it already?
Yes, we approved it, but we didn't approve it with any increases on the,
Okay. So,
on the,
so,
Also, we have it for 3 years at 1,200 then,
yes.
because we
did
approved
he
it at
sign off
1,200.
on it or not?
No, he didn't sign off on it. He didn't, I signed off, as soon as we approved, I signed off, but he hadn't signed off on it. So,
Was the request made at the time of the lease agreement?
not to my knowledge, until after. Am I right there, Mr. Gonzalez? Yeah, to my knowledge, it wasn't made till after. Now, we didn't have, I mean, we have land now, across the street from the high school. The only problem is we can't be without it, that's for sure. So I'm not sure if we approve this for 6 months at that rate and give us that time to
Is he
move
willing
it.
to go 6 months?
Well, I think he's under the impression that we can amend this one or go the 3 years.
Judge, can you all hear me?
Sure.
Okay, since he never signed it, we're basically month to month on the prior lease that expired in July. So, if you approve the increase, let's see if we can do it for a shorter term and then start looking for a long-term solution, maybe on, like you said, property the county already owns. But in the meantime, it's already there, and it would take us some time to find a place and then get it moved.
And the siren that's on the pole, who owns the siren?
That's ours.
That's
It's ours, okay?
Yep.
So we're just paying for that.
Well, that was a question I have. I don't even know if we own the tower. Is that his tower or our tower?
Oh, it's just a pole.
It's just like
It's a pole.
telephone.
You
So,
see, that's the question's been brought forward to. Yes, we do have the property across the high school where it would be a very logical place to put it at, but the thing is, how much would it cost us to remove it from there and take it over there? Would it be that, I don't know what all involved in the relocation of the siren? Is it through a wire system? Is it through cable, through what? I'm not sure. We'd have to find out. Unless you want to table it, Judge, and get more information on it, and,
We can,
or,
But see, he wants an increase right away, or?
yeah, that's the issue. He wants an increase. I think he stated that we've been with him for a long time there.
It's
2,400.
2,500 a year?
No,
a year,
Month,
yes,
a month or a year?
a year.
per year.
It's like 200 and something a month.
yeah, 200, it'll jump to 200, from 100 a month to 200 a month.
Oh, okay, I thought it was like 24.
No, it
Well,
basically,
$1,200 a month,
it's a
that's
yearly
fine.
charge.
Okay, so if it's just that amount, I mean,
Yeah, it's not really a.
That's double.
yeah.
double. Yeah, per year. It's a year payment, not a.
I was under the impression it was 1,200 a month and then double, and okay, so it's per year.
Yes, per year.
Okay, I mean, you're gonna spend more time and headache trying to get everything situated and,
That's for 3 years.
I wouldn't, I would,
I think.
I'd do it for 6 months, that's
Yeah,
it.
6
We try to
months would
figure
be,
something out ourselves. And then what's gonna be in 3 years?
well, I mean, if we're
For a
gonna do it,
pole? I just don't see it.
I would, just renew it for a year, so it's an annual lease, and that'll give you enough time to get with, somebody that can relocate it.
Go to for a year for 200 a month, something like that.
Starting today?
He's asking for 1,200 per year, so if you,
Be 200 a month.
200, 12.
No, he's asking for 2,400 a year.
400.
So let's just pay him for a year and then
Yeah,
that'll
1
give
year.
us enough time to do everything, we need to do, because it's gonna need power. And then, I don't know, does that thing work on cell communication for the siren to go off, or?
That's what we don't know yet. That's what I'm saying. We can look into it and
It-
find out.
I think it was installed back when Lynn was our emergency coordinator.
I'll get with Lynn. I know.
And so I don't know how it works or how much it will take to move it. But I think, yeah, if we, and we do have to designate, a starting point. I don't know, maybe Cindy can tell us what day of the month does that payment go out, Cindy?
I don't have that with me, so I'm not sure right now.
Maybe make it effective November 1st, because we're month to month, so we're still paying him 100 a month. I mean, yeah, we're paying him 100 a month since July when the lease expired.
I'm in favor to amend it to 6 months to a year, Judge, whatever you all decide, but, just, give us time to relocate or, it's very minimal. The increase is very minimal. But our economy is very minimal also. Every penny that we can save it's huge,
I just want to make a point that we make sure we have enough time that we don't shortchange ourselves and not get the equipment that we need to relocate it or upgrade
You wanna make a motion for a year and, it's okay.
make a motion to renew the lease for a year.
I'll second it.
For how much?
With the effective date, can we add the effective date, November 1st?
And how much?
200 a month.
And then it's up to him to accept the agreement also, so.
Correct.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to approve, 1-year lease beginning November 1st at 200 a month. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 11, discuss, consider allowing the Jim Wells County Sheriff's Office to work security in the form of overtime at the Jim Wells County Fairgrounds during the Jim Wells County Fair that would be reimbursed to the county through the Fair Association. So I don't see no representation from either one.
I'd like to make a comment on that, Judge. Why does it have to say to work security in the form of overtime? What happened to regular pay?
Because if you're asking me, I don't run that show, but the majority of them,
It's after work, right?
it's after hours. So this is, I think it's always been like that. We're correct, Mr. Guerra?
I thought there wasn't supposed to be a charge on this. Was that, did you hear about that, Judge?
The one's
I
supposed
thought
to
they
be-
didn't want to charge for this. They were gonna work something out.
I think that's probably a question better for the auditor, because we've done this in the past, and I was wondering about that too, that we would, because it might depend on the individual deputy that's working. If he hasn't reached his overtime threshold yet, I guess it would still be regular time. But if working at the fair puts him over the 40 hours or the 80 hours, whichever we use, only then would we pay overtime. And whatever the total cost is to the county, the Fair Association is supposed to reimburse us after the fair. That was my understanding of how it worked. Maybe Cindy knows a little bit more when they get the check.
Yeah, so of course, the sheriff is the one that spearheads this. In the past, I don't know, sheriff this year, I don't know how he's going to handle it, but in the past, the way they've handled it is they've essentially let all the deputies know if they want to sign up to work the fair overtime. So basically, I believe it doesn't affect their normal schedule, and then they would sign up, and then they would assign them, and that's where the overtime. So it's anything after their regular shift.
You know, I'm gonna make a comment to that, is when you say deputies, it's one thing to have the deputies do the overtime when they're making $45,000 a year. But when you have the upper people making overtime at 80,000, 90, 70,000, that's a huge difference. So I hope to take that into consideration.
Uh,
It's, you know, I get a lot of people call me, for example, and tell me this is money they're going for scholarships, and here we are charging for it. And to the grapevine, they were saying that there was gonna be a charge, but
And they turn in a whole separate.
I think they have an amount in mind, like,
isn't it 25,000 they pay every year?
in the past years, they
Maybe
always
20.
agreed to 10,000
Yeah,
for whatever
it's
reason.
in the range
You know, it's,
from
they
8.
call it overtime, but it's always been like $10,000, you know. You know, however you divide the pie, you know, it's, the Fair Association pays it,
Yeah,
so.
and then
that's
we pay it
really-
out, and then the Fair Association.
Is that something that you deal with, the fair, I mean, this is, or how does that work?
So, I mean, we pay out, and then I believe the sheriff's department will send that information to the Fair Association. And then they send us a check for that amount. and
So
it'll
the
offset
auditor
that.
gets the
The check from the Fair
overtime? Okay.
Association.
Basically a wash.
Okay, yeah, so it just washes out, right? It
So,
should be, anyway.
Yes.
has the county taken into, or the sheriff's office, the county taken into consideration maybe not charging the Fair Association, or is it, I mean, because that's actually for the kids, it's all, I mean, or maybe splitting the cost,
Well, you know,
just to,
I don't feel sorry for the Fair Association. They make money from all directions, from the rentals of the merchants building, to the concessions, to the trailers, to the carnival. By the way, the carnival also pitches in for the overtime. You know, so really and truly, they need to step up like they always do and pay the sheriffs, or security, you know, that's what I think.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda item as stated.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second.
Discussion,
I just wanted to say something. I was just wondering if the Fair Association can get by cheaper by hiring some security companies instead of ours, because I feel our guys need to be on our roads and not gathered up by a tree at the Fair Association.
well, actually, it's, they actually, you know, these, it's pretty much, the officers that are not on patrol, they're the ones that are out there working the overtime. If
So
they
how
weren't
is it
out there,
overtime?
They wouldn't be out in the county anyway.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Garcia, so if they're off, how is it overtime?
They've already worked their shift, they're
Yeah,
off, so they're coming in
sign
after
up,
their shift.
So they have to work their regular shift, and then anything after that, I believe. And like I said, this is
But I agree
how
with
they've done
Renee
it in the
saying,
past. I don't know how.
You know,
this
we need them out in the field, we got a shortage of them, how are we gonna have enough people to be out there to cover the roads and the fairgrounds?
That's
I
a
mean, we
sheriff
can-
question.
We can make a phone call to the sheriff, tell him to come over here and explain to us. We need
Yeah.
to.
I don't wanna I don't know how he's handling it. This is
I
his.
think that those officers there, they're on their own, I think,
I mean, because we have our constables out there also.
yeah.
On theirs, I mean,
They don't charge,
and they don't charge, so I mean, how many do we actually really need?
Oh, you need it when something happens.
well, yeah, that is true.
It's volatile situation, yeah.
Security to 200
anyway,
prisoners,
it's
so.
a.
So let's do this. I know we have a motion, we have a second. Let's put a hold on agenda item number 11. We'll come back. Isabel, want to go call the sheriff, see if he can send a representative so they can.
Because I know that the sheriff's department and the Fair Association meet, and they discuss the details and how
they
they're
met on
gonna
the
get paid.
26th.
You know, they already met, they already came to
I think
to an amount, you know, pretty much the amount. So,
So I think it's fair. I mean, we're gonna accept it. I don't think it's, like you were saying earlier, it's whatever they design over there, design on their own between them. It's just the item of the agenda is to allow,
I think what needed, that they needed a representative to come and explain to us, because we're talking about what ifs.
whether we're gonna do services out in the field or not by doing this. That's what you're saying, right? We might be losing patrols out there for
Yeah,
them to
I
be
mean,
here.
if they're gonna get, yeah. I mean, he says he's short on patrolling, but yeah, we're gonna send these over here to the fairgrounds under the tree. And we have, 4, believe me, I see them there. We have 4 constables that are there patrolling on their, 4-wheelers. And then maybe some, or
Well,
is
we
it
have-
cheaper for the fair association to save their money for the kids and get somebody else that they're not having to pay overtime?
In my opinion, we never have enough security out there. I mean, we could have people, and it might not even be enough. It's just, because I've seen that shooting that we had the last time, Anyway, maybe the sheriff needs to come over here.
I know we have over 30,000 people there on any given one of those nights. So, yeah, the presence is very important.
I don't know, it's,
and does it have to be, like Renee was saying, does it have to be the sheriff's department? Couldn't they hire their own security?
Well, I think they tried, and it's not that, as easy as it sounds, it's not that easy. I mean,
So I think what it is, no, Judge, like DPS charges like $50 an hour or something like that.
I don't know how they handle the.
If I'm mistaken, I think they're way up there in charge.
I think we're arguing something that we're not gonna be out any money. And the sheriff's department and the association agreed,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's between them.
so that's.
It's just whether we want to approve it or not. Like, we're gonna have to.
So Isabel's calling, it's already
He's
called,
on his
so
way.
they're coming? All right.
Okay, so let's go to not table it, but go to the next one.
We'll be back to agenda item number 13. Agenda item number 12, discuss, consider, and take action to adopt the Jim Wells County resolution nominating individuals to be placed on the official voting ballot of the Jim Wells County Appraisal District's Board of Directors to serve for year 2025, 2026 year. So, what this is what we do from the beginning, is we nominate the individuals that we see fit to represent Jim Wells County and the appraisal board. Today, we nominate. Once we nominate, then we send it back to our appraisal district, to Mr. Rodriguez. Mr. Rodriguez will then send us back the ballot. And then, once we have the ballot, we have 1,995 votes that we can split during that time. So today, all we're doing is nominating our representatives. And the last time we did this, we nominated 5 individuals and basically nominated the 5 individuals that are there now, which are, at that time, there were different.
Actually, we nominated a representative from Fremont and a representative from Orange Grove.
Yeah, so the motion for the nomination back then was for Mr. Recio, Mr. Atkinson, Mr. Burgesson, Mr. Seal Brandt, and Mr. Brent Starr. So 2 of those individuals that we nominated last time are no longer on the board.
Which ones are they?
Which are Mr. Burgesson and Mr. Brandt.
Brent's on the board?
Mr. Brandt Seal?
Oh, Brent. Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So on the board right now, we have Brent Starr, Chairman, Manuel Recio, Vice Chairman, Adrian Peña, Secretary, and then Newell Atkinson III, and Randall Unenfeld.
what I'm saying, Judge, if we nominate all of them, we might, we're gonna split our,
Yeah. Well,
you
if we nominate them, that doesn't mean we have to give them, it doesn't sound right, but if we nominate them, doesn't mean that we have to give them votes on
I think
the ballot.
we had Mr. Recio from Fremont area.
I had Recio and Brent Starr from the Bimbold, and
Yeah, and
then
then we had some votes also for Noel Atkinson, who was left over. You can nominate all of them, but, you're not gonna have enough, we need to make sure that we have 800
They-
points,
yeah.
for the ones from, for the one from Fremont and one from, Orange Grove area.
so we can make a motion to nominate all the same ones that are there, right?
The same, we can make a
Yes,
motion
we can nominate the same ones from last year, which,
or the ones that are here.
I'll make a motion to accept, to go ahead and
Nominate.
nominate the,
okay, and then we
same,
award the points next time.
same, board members that are there now.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion, I have a second, to nominate Brent Starr, Manuel Recio, Adrian Peña, Newell Atkinson III, and Randall, Eulenfeld. Is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and I'm a yay on that one too, Mr. Young. We'll go back to agenda item number 11. Sheriff,
We changed our mind.
Okay. No problem.
No problem.
so I think we had a couple of questions. I know that you met with the Fair Association.
So, yes, we've met twice. We have another meeting scheduled, working out all of the equipment that we need, where we're going to be getting that from, where everything's going to be stationed for the security at the fairgrounds, the schedule of the security, and including all of the different partners that'll be out there assisting us with that. So those are ongoing, and we have met twice, and we have another scheduled meeting.
Okay, do we have questions for the sheriff?
Let's see. Oh, I had a question. It says here to work security in the form of overtime. So when they show up at the fairgrounds, they work their shift and then they go to the fairgrounds, or how does that?
So we try to limit the amount of overtime by those that, by scheduling those that are on day shift already. They won't be getting paid overtime. They will still be at the fairgrounds. Those that are already on shift. Now, we still have to leave, although a lesser number of deputies to answer calls for service outside of the fairgrounds. But those, we do try to pull some of those in to limit the amount of overtime as much as possible. We use the constables, they do come in. Now, but if they're already on the schedule, then they're just getting the regular pay. But obviously, it's not enough security.
Right.
So those that were calling in on their days off are the ones that will be paid. Or if they worked day shift and they're going to be staying over and working, 4 or 6 hours at the fair, then they will be getting overtime. But we are having some people there that will be working there that will not be getting overtime.
How many deputies are you gonna have
Like
work in the fairground?
for per day or
Your day or in the evening or like any given time?
so we're gonna have, and it'll vary depending on, like in the beginning of the fair, depending on what's going on during the day, you'll have less. At night, we'll have probably 5 or 6 deputies. That's not including, the constable. That's not including all the other agencies that we'll bring in. We also have reserve deputies that will just be coming in. They won't be getting paid overtime, but we require them to do so many hours per year, and we prefer to use them during the fair to help us to reduce that number that we have to pay for overtime. So all those available reserves will be working also. And they're still working out the schedule. So I can't give you exact numbers right now. We're having to obviously coordinate with the different constables and the different other agencies that we're going to be assisting.
Sheriff,
But there will be plenty.
I'm sorry, Sheriff, obviously it's never enough security. We all know that. Will you be covering the carnival area included with this?
So yes, we will, the carnival, now they pay different, they pay their part of it. A lot of people think that the Fair Association pays for both. The carnival pays their own security. We will have some people over there.
Okay, so you will be covering the area.
Yes, we will have some people.
They just,
They're just gonna pay, well, it's
Yeah,
gonna
they
be
just pay a
us.
certain
It'll
section.
be, yeah, it'll be us.
To the
But
Fair
they're
Association.
going to be paying for that, those overtime hours.
so we will have coverage over there.
Yes, we will.
That's good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the sheriff?
So, and the other agencies like Clayburg or somebody, whoever you have an agreement with?
So no, I won't, if we have a need, I can reach out to them, but I think we can cover that I think we can cover the fair with just the sheriff's office, the constable's office, the DPS, all of our local law enforcement that work in Jim Wells County. I don't plan on calling any, unless there's some kind of a threat or something like that we're gonna be looking at. Right now, I don't foresee us calling out and asking for, like, say, the OLS counties that we participate with. I don't foresee needing to ask them for assistance. I think we can handle that within Jim Wells County.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion and a second already. Is there any further discussion or questions for the sheriff? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Motion
Sheriff.
carries. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Here you go, Jason.
Agenda item number 13.
Robert,
Okay, hold on, let me see.
14 or which one?
13. Discuss, consider, and take action to designate the county judge of this county is designated as the authorized official to apply for, accept, decline, modify, or cancel the grant application for the Indigent Defense Formula Grant Program and all necessary documents to accept the said grant. This resolution authorizes me to, well, before I get that, this grant, the Texas Indigent Defense Commission provides financial and technical support for counties to develop and maintain quality, cost-effective indigent defense systems that meet the needs of our local communities and requirements of the Constitution and state law. So we participate on this pretty much every year. We have a baseline that we spend, I think it's over 150,000. And we get a portion of that back at the end of the year. Correct, Mr. Guerra? See you there?
How much did we get back last year?
The last one that I could find was the fiscal year 2023. I think it always runs a year behind. So last year we got for 2023 31,500, which, realistically that doesn't even begin to cover our expenses for appointed counsel. But I mean, we'll take what they give us. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's much higher than what we get from the state. It's more in the form of a supplement than a full reimbursement. I'm pretty sure we're in the six figures as far as what we pay out per year. So this doesn't even begin to cover it, but we'll take it.
our baseline that we have to meet is $150,339. So what we pay out is definitely more than that. What we get back is just a drop in the bucket as to what we spend, but 30,000 is 30,000, you know.
Sure.
We need it.
So this is just giving me the authorization and designating me as official to apply, accept, and
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 14, discuss, consider, and take action requested by Ventura Garcia Jr. at the Jim Wells County Commissioner Precinct 2 to increase rent to fairground rentals per day and additional fees for extra days.
You know, we're already getting calls for next year, rentals. And what we're charging today, it's really not really enough, actually. So and it's just a proposal, guys. We can change the numbers, whatever you all want to do. It's just a proposal that I want to change the rents on like the Home Economics, which is a women's building, from $250 to $300, and $50 for the additional day for decorating, or sometimes they go there early and the night before they go in there and decorate. So I want to charge $50. You know, basically for the air conditioner. And then on the merchants building, we're at 800. And I know that, you know, I think that 950 would not be out of range, you know, because, you know, they do the air conditions. There's 3 big air conditioners out there that, you know, it's expensive. And then $300 for, if available, for the night before or the day before, basically for the air conditioners, because they go in there, turn on the air conditioners, and they, you know, it's actually they're renting 2 days for the price of one, is what it amounts to. So that's my proposal, is to go to 950 and 300 for additional days, you know, which for decorating, basically. The pavilion go up to 300. Show arena to 480. Okay, the entire fairgrounds stays the same, but they need to pay 350 if they want, you know, for an additional day, for, you know, for decorating, setting up, whatever they may be. And basically that's all, just because, and it's because, you know, they call and I have to give them a price for next year. So, and that's why I'm doing it today, you know. And
I don't have a problem in the increases. The only concern that I got is like at the merchants building, the $300. If there's nobody there, I mean, we can lock up the air condition, because a lot of people bring those big deals to decorate, and you want to use the day before if it's available, just don't turn on the air condition, you know. And in the entire fairgrounds, where we get the whole thing, the 350 is like it's just outside, you know. That's my only deal there. Other than that, I don't have problems with the increases. It's just those, the $50 on the Hall of Economics, that's fine. You know, you're gonna use the air conditioner, but the other ones, we can turn the air conditioner off.
The air conditioner, is it
you know,
locked?
Yeah, we can turn it off on the outside. We lock
it's
it.
really hard to monitor when they turn it on and when they turn it off.
Well, that's our deal. We lock it.
Yeah, but it's, you know, to me, it's better for them to pay the 350, because, you know, or the 300, whatever it may be, because, you know, it's,
I don't think anybody wanna go in there and decorate when it's hot. I mean,
You open the garage doors. It's fine.
yeah, but
you know, and, because I've had people go in there on a Friday, And then they requesting to go in there on Thursday. So any additional day, it's not out of line to charge them $300.
Everybody else would, if you were probably go to Borchard over there, you wanted to go in early a day, they're gonna charge you anywhere.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna charge you.
Yeah, you go to the KC Hall and you can't decorate till that morning.
Yeah,
And then they won't turn the air conditioning on till,
a certain time.
a certain time, so it,
Do
I
we
don't,
know, how much does a KC charge, or, I mean, are we the only?
yeah, well, I don't know what they're charging, but,
I know the VF is $1,200.
I think the KC
They
was
charge that for
$950 to rent and then extra.
I don't know what they're charging, but,
See, I'm thinking our merchants building needs to go up to $1,200.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge, I mean, yeah, and it's good building, like, it's probably the best in town.
it's, you know, and a lot of people, you know, they look at the
Let's go with 1,200
concrete
a
and
day.
stuff, but at the end of the day, it's a good place to have an event, you know? And, you know, I think $300 is not out of line, actually, for
Well,
the use, even without an air conditioner. For the use of them going in the day before, it's worth $300.
I
Even
agree.
if you turn off the air condition, you know, so it's,
why don't,
I agree with Ventura there, you know, I don't see anything wrong with that, amount,
why don't we go 1,200 and you get the day of and the day before and anything around that, then you go 300 more. You know what I mean?
well, it depends if it's occupied or not, you can't.
yeah, if available, that's what the Friday before, usually a Saturday event. The Friday before is usually available because we don't rent it out because they'll mess it up for the Saturday event. But, you know, like, 1,200 for both days,
That's what I think.
yeah.
Well-
1,200, and then if they need additional days, then you go to the three.
That would take them to Thursday? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if they needed it and it's available, then you charge them for those days, but 1,200 would give you the Thursday, the Thursday evening and the Friday.
Well, like I say, this is just a
I mean, the
proposal.
Friday and Thursday, yeah, so,
Have you checked around to see what everybody charges?
well, that's what they just said, if the VFW charges 1,200.
1,200 for one day.
For one day, and you can only decorate that same day.
And that's not to come in the day
We're
before,
gonna
turn on the
do
air
2
conditioner
days
for this huge
inspection.
building.
Uh,
So, you know,
I suggest that, I mean, 950 is pretty attractive, 1,200, and then you're gonna charge 300, that gets expensive. So more than likely, if they wanna decorate the same day, just specify, hey, you can decorate the day before, come in early, decorate, you get charged 950. If you want an extra day, you charge 300. You know, that's
Yeah, well,
1,200,
that's what we're saying here.
yeah, that's $1,250, and as to if you go charge $1,200 plus,
It's gonna cost you $950.
yes,
But if you want the extra day,
yes.
that's what we're
I
saying
think
here.
that's more
You know,
enticing
In other
to,
words, they
people.
They're
they
gonna use it
don't have
anyway.
to pay the 300,
right,
but they cannot use the merchant building the day before.
right, it's gotta be the same morning.
Right, that's what we're saying here.
I agree with that.
So, but when
and
they
maybe
come-
next year go up
when
on
they
the
sign the
day.
contract, you know, they either pay $950 or
An
$1,250.
additional day, yes.
Because the decorators, they wanna go in the day before and maybe, and sometimes 2 days before, you know, that's our problem.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, look, this is just a proposal and, you know, whatever you all decide that, you know, I enforce.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, but we haven't finished because I have a 33% off on employees. You know, so an employee wants to rent it, you know, right now they're at 25%, so 33% off, you know, if the employee rents
What
it.
about free? I'm just kidding, I'm just kidding.
So that would be part of the,
Yes, yes, of course, as you presented it here.
yeah,
Pretty much RV parks stay the same and everything.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll make a motion to approve as presented by Ventura.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Agenda item number 15, discuss, consider, and approve financing contract from Government Capital for new trash compactor trucks financed, amount $657,083 for Commissioner Precinct 1, George Aguilar.
Yes, sir. Judge, Commissioners, we did approve a resolution last Commissioners Court, I believe. And before contacting Government Capital, I spoke with Cindy to see if we could do this financing, and she did her research, and he said, yes, you got a green light. So we contacted Government Capital, and they approved us for financing for $657,083. At an interest rate at 5.58%, the term would be 6 years, and the annual payment would be $131,943.06. And of course, the reason we're doing this is, the repayment of this financing contract would be paid by the trash service that we offer. So that service generates $540,000 a year, and which in 6 years will be $3,240,000. So, that's more than sufficient money to repay the loan. And we have an option to pay early. So that is the intention behind that, and I need the new equipment. We're having to pay out a lot of money to repair the equipment we have.
And you're gonna.
And once we get the new equipment, we're gonna auction off the old equipment and apply that towards the note.
Everything good with the auditor's office?
Yeah, we had already discussed as far as the financing and the projection if we could financially take on that risk, and it was okay. The only note that's kind of hinging because there are two different vehicles, so the first one is already approved, and I'm talking about the procurement portion of it. It's just the second vehicle, which is the used one. I'm still waiting to hear back from the vendor to get the procurement part approved, so that's the only one that I'm
Yeah,
waiting.
so we're still waiting on that one. I think is they're trying to, they're gonna send the estimate through Sourcewell. And once Cindy's office verifies the contract,
And we'll continue.
yes.
I make a motion, we approve
A second.
hinging the approval of the second trash truck procurement process. So I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign.
Thank you, everyone.
Motion carries. We'll fill in those blanks with the motion and second and all that. Agenda item number 16, discuss, consider, and take action on payroll and bills as submitted by the county auditor with the exception of Fund 52, 53, and 54.
Make a motion to approve bills as presented.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Anybody like to address the court this time before we adjourn? I know at the fairgrounds, everybody's trying to get ready for the fair. I know we have some folks out there working hard. We replaced at least two of the gates that were damaged. And right now, at the gate coming in from Gulf Street, we're building a nice entrance there with a brand new gate, and we're using some pipe, and then we're trying to make it look nice. That entrance in the back, we're we're gonna try to put a little stain on the fence, on the perimeter, coming in from Johnson Street. Trying to make the place look good, trying to have it ready for a lot of people to come and enjoy our fair, our county fair.
On that note, Judge, I need to get back with the city because I did contact them about a month ago about cleaning up the entrances on from Highway 281 and on Johnson. So I should have an answer.
Actually,
You started doing it?
they already did it.
Okay.
They lack a little bit more, but they're working on it. You know, I'm glad that you contacted them. I contacted them about a month ago, and I knew they were going to do it before the fair. But anyway, they did start.
That's good. That, you know, if,
Even that brush that was there, they removed it.
well, if anything gets dirtied from here to there, we'll be sure and assist.
I'm gonna drive to Corpus after lunch, Judge, because I've been having a hard time finding the sealer for that fence.
Oh, okay.
So I found some at Lowe's, and I found some here at Sutherland's. I'm trying to find enough to stain it, you know, so, I'll be doing that this afternoon.
Anybody else? Please don't leave. We have to update one of the nominees. We have to do the resolution. We have to type in the nominees that we chose for the appraisal district. And, we're gonna need everybody's signatures. We can turn that in. So please go to my office and sign that resolution. And I entertain a motion.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second to adjourn. Is there any further discussion needed? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.